Yeah.
Is that you?
That's me.
Yeah.
When Adrian first started this, it was God almost 2 years ago, right? He reached out on LinkedIn and I thought, oh, it's not this blah LinkedIn message people send me that I'm like, God, why do I connect with this person? There was always something valuable. And I kind of just toyed around with the videos and I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. And then, Ryan's kind of handsome. So I was like, oh, I like watching Ryan's videos. Plus, I like a Scottish accent. So,
yeah.
um,
I'll let him know you said that.
But the content has always been really, really good. And I know it's an excuse that the money thing is always because I know the value's there. I know it's going to be more than I want to spend, although I know I need to invest in myself. And over the years, I've spent 1,000 here, 1,000 there, and it just adds up. And I'm like, okay, at some point I've just got to just take the jump and do what's actually going to help my business, because I can take all the certifications I want in the world, but if I don't know how to give it to somebody, it doesn't help me. So, but yeah, I've been following along for at least a year and a half. So.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong, right? Because when you're ready to receive, and see, this is the thing. When we're ready to take new actions to get new results, but when we're really ready, you can take off with velocity. And, Lexus, I just want to ask you, and I know you already said earlier, right, that you've been coaching pretty much for free for a while. And I think you also said something along the lines of, let me see if I got this. You don't really want to connect with the money. You just want to be able to make the impact and the difference.
I feel like, so right now I'm in a PhD program for natural health. And so it's about manifest, a lot of it's manifesting. So a lot of what you're talking about, getting to the root cause of what's holding people back from healing, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And I 100% believe in that. Slowly, I'm uncovering the stuff with myself. I'm starting to get more into meditation about abundance and attracting that to me. But although I want the money that comes with it, I don't want the money to be my driving factor. I think it's the connection I have with my clients that's the driving factor. The money will come with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So are you willing to work with me a little bit around this? Because I want to help you have a breakthrough.
Okay.
Because I think it's your relationship with money that actually keeps you from growing your coaching business. But it's like, so what could go wrong when you start attracting abundance in your life? Now, this isn't even a money conversation right now. This is just an abundance. But what could go wrong if you started attracting more of that in your life?
See, and that's the thing. I don't feel like anything would go wrong if I did. I really don't feel that way. I just mentally, I don't want to be in it for the wrong reason. And I feel like then I'm not being authentic, I guess. So I'm an audiologist and I do a lot of hearing aid sales. And am I the best at it? No, because, I do know a lot of people are financially strapped, especially my seniors, and I know how to counsel them through it. But I think a lot of my industry, there's been so much on consultative sales and, doing all of this. And I'm really much more into motivational interviewing, which is a lot of, techniques and things that high performing, uses. And so I guess I feel like if the money is what's driving me, that patients can sense that, not that I'm there to help them, that I'm just there to get money. Right. So I think that's why I'm trying to separate myself from the money.
Yeah. So what was your experience of money like growing up? Like, were you around somebody that had a lot of money?
Mm-hmm.
What was that experience like for you?
My parents were always upper middle class, but a lot of their friends were very wealthy. Yeah. And so I always felt like I was not up there.
Yeah.
with them. And so I always sort of competed. And then in high school, yeah, I mean, my parents gave me everything I wanted, but the other kids at school are driving Mercedes and BMWs. And, I had my little hatchback that was falling apart. So I always felt like that wasn't me, Sure, it's the life I dream of, but it's not, I guess it feels like it's unattainable.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I just had the experience of like your emotion when you were sharing, like there's something really there for you about that experience, isn't there? Yeah.
I don't know what it is yet though, because it makes me tear up when I talk about it, but I don't know what it is. And it's been something I've struggled with.
Yeah. Consider you made a judgment about them, but also not just them. You made a judgment about yourself.
Right.
So what was that? What was that decision that you made about yourself when they had the Mercedes and the money and
That I didn't deserve it.
is that true?
I know I do. I mean, I work my ass off.
Remember I asked you what might, what might you lose if you had abundance in your life? I want you to look at see that question and like really tap into your heart. What are you really afraid if you have money in abundance? What is the one thing you're afraid of most?
I would lose who I've associated myself with for my whole life.
Yeah. Consider that's really scary. And
Sorry. It's the Greek blood, emotional.
Oh, no. It's so amazing. It's really amazing because that means you get to let that story go. That people with money are fill in the blank. People with money are
No better than me.
but what's the old narrative? Because that wasn't the people with money are. Don't worry, we're not judging you. Say what's there, girl. Don't go.
I don't know.
The first thing that comes up, people with money are.
I don't know. I don't know.
You're just afraid to say it because you're so nice and loving and kind, and the thoughts that you're thinking you don't want to actually say out loud because people might judge you. We're not. But what's really there for you?
People with money judge others.
Yeah. And you definitely don't want to be that person. So I'll just keep that money a little bit over there.
Well, I laugh because I have 2 kids in college. So I have no money. So even if I were making money, I would still have no money. So it's not like I would be abundant until they're done school.
Consider that's a limiting belief.
I know. And that's why I know I need to work through this, because that's what I want to show them, that they can, do all this. I remember my mom, like I said, my parents always had money. They're fine now, but it was always watching their dollars. When I had money, when I didn't have kids, I spent way too much money. And so now I'm kind of kicking myself, because when I did have my career was really taking off and I was making a ton, I wasted it instead of spending it, instead of saving it. And it might have changed my belief system then, but then between divorce and this and that, then it was just like money became such a focal point of every action I made.
Whoa, wait a minute, Alexis. I'm going to give you a jacket. You get to try it on. Okay. Do you want to try on this jacket?
Okay.
Consider when you have these deep-seated beliefs about money, you didn't just waste money. It was unconsciously set up that way so that you don't have it.
Yeah.
See, when people overspend, when they don't save, you're like, oh man, I had this great job and I had all this money and then I just wasted it. Yeah, because ecology was at play.
Yeah.
Your sense of love, safety, and belonging. It was perfectly orchestrated to keep you really safe.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense.
So what's an updated belief system that you can have around money?
Having money is okay.
Yeah.
That I deserve it, that I've worked for it, and that it's just a representation of the success and the effort that I put into my life.
It's just an exchange of value. See, because people can go get their PhD and everything, other certifications that you have and qualifications that you have and life experiences that you have, they can go do all of that work and they can go transform their life and they can go spend hours reading books and all the things that you've did. And I already know who you are because you're determined, you're motivated, you're ambitious. They can do all of those things, but it's going to take them a whole lifetime. Or you can fast track that. See, you can fast track that bridge
Right.
in a short amount of time, and it's only going to cost them $3,000. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Or $5,000 or whatever your price is, you get to choose.
Right.
But with the belief that people that have money are just people that have money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you can get rid of the stories.
Yep. I'm ready. So
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, this is the only reason why you're not asking for money is because you fear money, because you fear judgment. You fear, being one of those people that drives around in a Mercedes that people judges because you judge them.
Yep.
And it's just, man, when you can see that, that's so flippin' authentic. It's like, oh, look it. I'm actually being inauthentic about money, pretending I don't want it.
Right.
Right? That's it. Thank you for playing with me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry you all had to see me cry.
Hey,
Not a pretty crier.
did anybody be like, oh man, lady, you should stop crying? Did anybody think that in here? Was anybody judging? How many people could connect to her story and you're like, oh my gosh, that's just like me. You see the hands up in the room because of your sharing? See what the value you gave to them?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.